don't get distracted, focus on your goals, and go do it. I mean, the rest of when you're zoned in on what you want to accomplish, you're ultimately, I think, probably as happy as you want to be. I'm a big believer that when you have goals, you're happy. I think if someone doesn't have goals, and I could be wrong, I just don't think that they're happy. I really don't. I think you have to have goals in your life.
Yep.
Real Estate Podcast. Alex Coffin, Matt Teifke, Aqua Fresh, Coffee Black. We're back at it today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Today, we wanted to really get into other stuff like we always do, but the main topic is mentors, finding people that you can reach out to, the value of learning from other people, and then we'll just go where we go like we always do. But I've always been a big believer in mentors and learning and education, and my kind of history is I've had brokers that I've literally sat down with for hours at a time and just learned as much as possible, and I still try to do that. And so I think it's an amazing thing if you're trying to become great at what you do. We talked about the Last Dance. Kobe went up to Michael and he said, "How do you do that jump shot?" And so just always reaching out to people that have come before you and that know more than you is always valuable. With age comes wisdom. And if someone's been in this business for 30, 40, 50, 60 years, there's definitely things that they can teach you. And even if they've been in it for 1 year, there's probably stuff that they can teach you. So myself, I've always really tried to soak it up from brokers. I'm at a point in my life where I don't have a broker. But I have the people around me that I look at as mentors in all different types of ways. How do you view mentors? What's your thought process on getting that rolling, moving forward? And have you had like one or two mentors yourself? Like, how do you view all this?
Yeah, I mean, I have had multiple mentors in different areas of life. You've really been the only personal mentor that I've had in real estate. I listen to a lot. I consume a lot of real estate content, but it's not a, personal relationship. Obviously, it's via YouTube or podcast or whatever it is. But in real estate specifically, you have been the only mentor that I've had.
And you don't think that, Grant Cardone?
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. That's content that I consume
right.
and have watched every single day for the last couple years. But It's not a...
it's in a different way, a mentor. Like, you can't really ask him a question, but you're like...
Right.
Yeah. That's a good point. I think maybe there's a divide in like a mentor or education and learning. And, both are obviously super important. So if you can find someone that's willing to have your back and teach you and guide you, it's amazing. Then the education's probably a little bit different. I remember whenever I was younger, like looking on internet for basically any type of real estate question, and it was hard to find stuff until certain websites came out, and it's like, oh, it's all there. And then you realize, oh, there's somebody that will actually help me with that. I kind of grew up playing sports, and so in some ways coaches were my mentors. Robert Culver, my dad was a coach for a little bit, and you follow their lead and they guide you and they push you, and there's that balance between, like we talked about the last time, of leading by example and just not even telling someone what to do, and then coming off as hardcore and kind of a prick and making someone be better. And that was my first mentor. This guy was freaking intense, man. I don't even know how to explain it, but he belittled me, he challenged me, he made me feel like an idiot, and I just pushed through it every day. And it was for a long time. And I found it super valuable, and I swallowed my pride, and it made me better for sure. And I was lucky to have that. And although he made me feel a certain way, the fact that he was putting in time into sitting down with me for an hour every day showed that he wanted me to succeed. And I think it's important to, like I said, like everyone can mentor in different ways, right? You don't have to be 60 years old to be a mentor. You can mentor in certain aspects. Like, to me, I never really loved the idea of like, this is my mentor. I have this one mentor. It's like everybody's a mentor. You're my mentor in ways. Andrew's my mentor in ways.
Yeah.
Like, you just learn from those people.
You can learn from anybody and everybody.
Yeah. And I mean, it's just super important to have that mindset, to humble yourself, to realize that you don't know everything. And when you start putting yourself out there, people want to help you. And it's the same for us with other people, right? Like, me helping someone there's a good feeling in that for me, because other people did it for me as well. But just knowing how powerful like small tips or guidance can be, I mentor essentially people that are twice my age, and people that are younger than me mentor me as well. So I think it's important to just have an open mind and never think that you know everything, and just constantly be finding new people. That's kind of how I view it. And, you were with me yesterday. We met a new guy. Like, I texted him after we met, and I was like, nice meeting you. I would love to stay in touch. And, like, I want to do that consistently, because it's really easy to have those meetings and never talk again. And then at that point, you really are just wasting your time. You know what I mean? Because I've done that. Like, I've had people that I've met with, and I never followed up with them. And it was like, well, that was a wasted meeting.
Yeah. I guess I've never really viewed it as a goal to go out and find a mentor. Like with you and I, for example, if you want to call it a mentorship, I guess I kind of always viewed it as a partnership. And, because a lot of, at least your style with teaching me what we got going on, it wasn't like, do X, Y, Z. Mm-hmm. It was more like, did you Google that first? Or
here's an idea. Go learn.
Yeah, it was just like, hey, Alex, this is what we're trying to do, is we're trying to find deals. And it's like, go figure it out. Mm-hmm. Kind of. And then I would have questions along the way. And at first it was like, did you Google that first? Mm-hmm. Or whatever it was. And personally, for me, that's really how I learn best, is going out and doing it myself. Mm-hmm. And not getting told, do steps 1 through 5. Mm-hmm. It's more like step 5 is where we're trying to go. This is the end result we're trying to achieve, and kind of figure out how to get there. Mm-hmm. But what is important to me, at least in the learning process, is why I'm doing something, or why I have to do this, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Like, I can go out and probably figure out how to get it done. If there's a certain step that needs to be taken, the biggest benefit to me in having a mentor there is understanding why that step has to be taken. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I don't see the point in taking it, if that makes sense.
Totally.
And I was going to say something else. But I forget. I'll remember. But yeah.
Trying to think what you were saying. I don't know where you're going, but one thing I was just thinking about is when you become essentially a mentor, or you're just willing to help someone out. I don't even know how I feel about that, that word mentor, because I understand, like I would always hear people say, this is my mentor, and or I don't know, man. I mean, it's just maybe that word is throwing it off.
That's what I was going to say, is it's going back to just learning, right? Like when we got the mobile home park under contract, and you introduced me to Abe, you said, hey, we should probably partner with Abe. He has experience in this area. And then, a couple days after we got the contract signed, got it to title, Abe and I were going up to the city. The next week, we were driving around looking at commercial properties, call it a mentorship, whatever you want to call it. But going back to just learning, like that's what drives me, man, that's what excites me, is learning new things. Like that was to a lot of people that wouldn't have been fun, I guess, to go up to the city, learn about codes, learn about permits. I'd never done that before. Yeah. And it was really fun to meet Abe up there, and I was excited about it. And then driving around looking at properties. To me, I mean, that's, I talk a lot about how like every day is a new day. And they kind of just all merge together. But it's essentially like I start over every day, and every day I get to go out and learn something new or solve another problem. And that's what's fun. And the right people in the right places, like you, like Andrew, like I learned a lot about recording content. Like I have these great ideas about how it should look, what needs to be done. And then, bring it to Andrew, and he's like, well, it doesn't exactly work like that, right? Always learning new things from whoever it can, wherever it can. Yesterday in that meeting, like I almost would have rather just sat there and talked about insurance and how we can start an insurance company, or how does that work? Yeah. You know what I mean?
I think you're spot on, man. And that's essentially been my career of real estate up until the last year, has been just different aspects. And I know what you're saying. It reminded me, like when you said walking into the city and learning, I did an internship at a development company called Kemp Development. And it was for a summer, and these guys were building freaking commercial buildings, and it was so cool. And I would go once a week, and we would go sit inside a brand new building that was essentially not finished out on the inside, and the architect would be there, the engineer would be there, the GC would be there, sometimes the banker would be there, the developer would be there, maybe even the tenant. And I just sat there. Everyone has hard hats on, and we're just like talking about the building, talking about the next steps. That was so cool for me. Yeah. That was so cool.
And that's kind of what I was talking about in our last podcast when we were talking about partnerships, is, of course, I'm excited about building out these branches of tree, right? Construction, lending, acquisitions. But what I'm most excited about is to own part of these and get paid to learn. Like I'm really excited about learning what a new build looks like, start to finish. Right. I'm really excited about walking a property with Sam and him being like, this is going to cost this much. If we bring this out, it's going to cost this much. The floors are going to cost this much. You can calculate stuff. You can calculate, how much a paint job is going to be by doing this. This wood can be saved. Talking with Tommy, like going into the deep financials of lending, how we're going to get paid, how we can structure it, what we're taking for collateral. I would do all this for free. And the coolest thing to me is being able to dive deep into each one of these areas and learn.
Totally agree, man. That's critical. And one thing I was thinking about as far as being a mentor or helping other people is you get way better at it yourself. Like, I think a random example is a guitar, right? Like, I've had people that they're just like, do this, and I'm like, I can't do that, and they don't know how to actually teach me how to do it. And then what I've learned is when I figure out how to teach someone else, like if I were to teach someone else guitar, that makes me 10 times better at guitar. Just putting it in words and being able to explain it and show it versus just doing it. So same thing with real estate, like being able to, teach somebody how you do what you do allows you to just put it out there. In some ways it allows you, I guess, maybe to reflect on what you're doing and to put it on paper and to, the teachers become the best at what they do, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
In school, when I was trying to learn something or prepare for a test, I would teach Kat what I had just learned. I would get on my whiteboard and I would write it out. I'd explain why it works. I don't know. I guess that applies to what you're talking about.
Whatever. Baseball, teaching someone how to hit a ball. Like, you just become a better hitter in doing that. And so there's something that's pretty amazing if you think about it. It's like you're trying to learn from other people, but then you're trying to give back. And while you're giving back, you're actually getting a lot better. So it's an all-around win-win. Win-win-win, because you're helping them, you're getting better, and you're probably going to do stuff together. You're helping build something.
It's just fun. It's fun learning. Like one thing that I don't really express, but one thing I think about is I never really pass up opportunities to go learn something.
Yeah.
For example, is Kyle, owns a ranch, or Kyle plenty of times, has been like, hey, do you have some extra time today? I'll pay you to come help run wiring through this new build. But dude, I'll come help you for free. Like, I just want to learn. Going out to his ranch, vaccinating cattle, putting fly medicine on them. Yeah. Castrating the bulls. Like, it's cool to just go out and learn new things to me.
100%. I mean,
and I never asked for payment for it.
Right.
He always offers, and many people have always offered, like, hey, let me pay for your time. It's like, no, just let me know next time we're going to do something cool again.
Yeah, it's life, man. You're just constantly learning, and it's a beautiful life, man. When you're optimistic and you see all the potential and the possibilities, and you keep an open mind, you just improve yourself by learning. You just get better.
Dude, I want to own a ranch.
That'd be great, man. Yeah, heck yeah. I think that's ultimately like the ultimate freedom is having your own land. I'd love to do that.
I want the meat. That's what I want.
Yeah.
I just want the cattle.
I can get you hooked up on that.
Can you?
Yeah. Lexi's uncle has a meat market. Her grandparents have a ranch. We just get a deer for 6 months a year.
Well, so yeah, I mean, I got venison as well, but I want like the cattle.
Yeah. You can go buy a little cow and have it be, raise it and get all the meat.
It's a cool life.
Yeah.
It's a hard life. Have you ever messed with cattle before?
A little bit. I have some crazy stories. We had a longhorn get his horn stuck in this cattle guard, and Lexi's dad had to saw the horn off, and I was there with him. It was insane, dude. Their horns are hollow, but blood was shooting out of the horn. All over his face. He's sawing it.
So they do have cattle.
Yeah, they have cattle. Yeah.
They sell and raise and.
Mm-hmm. And I'd love to get there as far as real estate ownership goes, but that's, to me, like you said, it's a totally different life. And at this point, it's like, unless you're running it like a business, that's not really producing income, right? So you got to be pretty well off to go buy a ranch.
Well, it does produce income.
It can.
That's the cool thing about the cattle.
Doing, like the cattle, yeah. But I mean, if you're talking about buying a ranch around here, $1 million, $2 million, $5 million, $10 million.
I'm just saying it's pretty cool.
No, I agree. Trust me. I think it's. I know Andrew feels the same way. I think that's one of his dreams. That's why I said it's the ultimate freedom. It's like I feel like most people would want that.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I don't know.
And these cows are expensive.
Yeah, living off the land, man. Yeah, that's.
What were you talking about? Mentors.
Back to the mentors. That's what I love about this. Just go wherever. But there's something to it, man, with just putting yourself out there, getting in front of people, and like you said, not only do you learn, but you also put yourself in a position to learn stuff you've never even thought about. That's really cool.
Yeah, and I guess that back to mentors, and kind of what you were touching on earlier, I think, one of the most important things is anybody and everything can be a mentor. And I guess I've never viewed a single friendship, partnership, whatever it is, as like, this person is my mentor.
Right.
It's like, how can I learn as much as I can from whoever?
Right.
In every different aspect.
Yeah. And I believe everybody can teach you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody. My 19-month-old son can teach me. You know what I mean? And if you have that mindset, I think that's a big win in this life. I think it's a humble approach to not just think you know everything, to be willing to be open-minded and learn, and also give back and help people in that same way as well. Can you think
about, because I'm trying to think about if there was like a moment in time, and there wasn't. It's just, at least for the last 5 years, that has just kind of always been a part of it wasn't something like I had to teach myself to practice, if that makes sense. It was just kind of my attitude and the way I viewed things. And so what I'm getting at is that the same way it was for you, or did you have to teach yourself to become teachable? Or what do you think about people who are listening to this who maybe want to learn to be able to view things that way?
I think, well, like I said, about being humble, like humble yourself and be humble and don't think that you know everything.
But can it be taught?
Yeah, absolutely. I think subconsciously I probably soaked things up. This is making me think about some stuff, but sports was a big aspect of it. And I just remember growing up, like certain movies, like I freaking
Forrest Gump.
No, like I loved Rudy.
Yeah,
I loved Rocky.
Yeah.
And it was like something about the underdog, and just having to push through. You know, Rocky had a mentor, right? Like, what's his name?
The trainer.
Yeah, Mick. Right? Was it Mick?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, catching that chicken. Rocky's like, I need that. You know, and it was like, I don't know, maybe subconsciously those kind of things. Sports. You know, I was super competitive with my brother.
You ever seen Man of Honor?
I don't think so.
With Cuba Gooding Jr. He's a diver.
Oh, I've seen that. Heck yeah, dude.
Movies
that's
like
a
that.
great movie. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great movie. But those are my favorite types of movies.
Me too.
Yeah. And then, you know, I was always getting into real estate. My mom did very well with buying properties, but she really didn't know that. Like, she didn't teach. I'm sure maybe she does know, but she didn't teach me, and she doesn't act like she knows.
I think she acts like she doesn't know what she's doing.
Yeah, she probably does, but she definitely acts like she doesn't know. And she never, I mean, other than me seeing it, and this isn't a knock on her, but she never really taught me much about real estate. She taught me a lot about, you know, being a good person and working hard and relationships and networking, but like specific real estate stuff. Although she had built a good portfolio, I just learned it through doing it and through other people. And then I was really lucky, man. I think I'm in a good spot. Like I really don't believe I should have been able to get through that real estate program and even get accepted. Like, I couldn't get into many colleges, you know, like we were talking to Buddy the other day and he's like, I'm not really a college guy. Like, I'm not, and I'm like, I'm not either. I'm really not. Like, I just like, you know, I do think that I have a lot of street smarts and I just figured out how to get through on that. I made good friends. You know, I worked really hard at it, but I walked into this real estate program and I was way over my head. I mean, these people were way smarter in a lot of stuff, but I would literally go into the teacher's office every day and like put in the extra time.
Tutoring, yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's about putting in the work.
It is, and that's the thing is, like, anything you want to put your mind to, you can accomplish. And this is what I was thinking earlier, is like, as far as mentors or being or learning, like finding the right situation and the right people and the way that they explain it is critical. Because I know a lot of people that say history is boring. They hate history.
Yeah.
And it's like, I actually think that if they were in front of the right people, that history is fascinating. And I've had those teachers. Like, I had a teacher that would, you know, bring in cannonballs from the Civil War and like pass it around. You're like, this is crazy. And he would like love it. And I've had the other type of history teacher that is, you know, it's not very.
It's about your attitude, though.
Yeah,
and
the way that it's and the passion, right? If someone has passion, like, to me, honestly, like, anytime I see anybody that's passionate about anything, that inspires me. Like, whatever it is.
But what I'm getting at is, you as the consumer of information can turn that non-passionate teacher, mentor, into a passionate experience on your end just by learning new information. And like, that's
hard. Maybe you're right.
That's how I do it, man. And like, it's not something that I have to try to do. It's just so fun learning new things that I thoroughly enjoy it. Like school, you know, I didn't go to college and graduate. I'm still technically I don't even know if I'm a sophomore or not. You know, throughout the entire time of owning these businesses and working for myself and making way more money than anybody who went to college is I would go to ACC and I would take my freshman level courses, and it was the funnest thing in the world just to learn.
Yeah.
I have no plan or desire to utilize that degree for anything, but it's just fun learning.
Right. I hear you, and maybe you're right. I just feel like if someone's not passionate about it, like I've had bad teachers, and I if you can like take a lot from that, like I respect that. I just am like, man, they don't want to be here. I can't get into what they're talking about. It's hard to learn this.
Yeah, well, what I'm getting at is don't utilize that as an excuse. I mean, I've been in great classes with great professors. I've been in situations where people who are not passionate about the subject being taught. However, it's like a personal goal for me to understand and to learn that information. Mm-hmm. And if it's a boring environment where I'm learning that environment, I will take all that information and I'll go learn it in a different environment.
That's a good point. And maybe that comes down to maturity level of when I'm thinking back to college when I really didn't want to be there on certain things, and I probably would have liked these classes more at this point in my life looking back, and been able to just get to the knowledge and learn what's important. So I know what you're saying. That makes a lot of sense.
Well, I think that's the way it's got to be viewed.
Yeah.
For me, at least. If I'm not interested in
you might as well. Otherwise, you're just wasting your time.
Exactly. If I'm not interested in that, if I don't have a desire to be there or be a part of it, like it's a waste of time. And so for me, and probably everybody else who's in there, and a part of it, if it's solely reliant on me in that scenario, but I don't know. It's not something that I have to.
Well, that's good. It comes back to a little bit what we were talking about earlier, as far as you have the ability to learn from everybody, right. So if you think like that, then that makes that a lot easier, and you don't have to just, this is my only mentor, this old dude. It could be anybody. Well,
that's what I'm trying to say, though, is that it's not something that's like easy or hard. It's just the way that it is, if that makes sense. It's not something that has to be forced. It's not something I have to.
Yeah. What's your mindset? You keep an open mind and you're just constantly wanting to learn.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. I like it.
Well, I think that that's kind of the way to do it for me.
Yeah. Well, we're doing it. We're actually doing it. We do it for people for free, but we actually have our coaching program. And to me, that's been super exciting because I really see the value we can bring. Like the other day, there was a deal that one of our guys wanted to do, and I told him no. And I just know that saved him money that he would have lost or broken even maybe. And so, that knowledge and the experience is critical. That's the whole value and reason why, reaching out and accepting these things is a way to grow.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I got on mentors, man. I think it's just keep an open mind, find people that you can learn from everyone, teach people yourself, and that's what allows you to take it to the next level. And man, when you're optimistic like we are, like life's just great. We're lucky to be here. It's although whatever's happening in the world, like it's a blessing to be able to take a breath of air, and it's like there's just opportunity. And when you have
Opportunity City,
Austin, Texas, and man, just cool stuff happening, and I feel blessed, man, all the time. I feel really blessed, and just try to stay positive, and hopefully that can come off to other people, and hopefully we can help them have some of that positivity if they don't, and just be a resource at TRE.
I want to touch on something real quick before we go, because I think it's very important, and I think that this is what you try and do on a daily basis, like we were talking about a couple podcasts ago about helping people, right? What you just talked about, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is how I view it, about being blessed and living the life that we do. I think stems a lot from what we've been talking about with this mindset, right? Like I was talking about, like each day is a new day. Get to go learn something new every day. Get to solve a new problem every day. Get to it's for me. I live in this this little realm of what I've got going on in front of me, and nothing else around me necessarily affects me, right? Like, I don't know what's been going on in the United States.
I don't either.
In detail.
Yeah, I don't either.
You know, I watch little snippets here and there, but it's so foreign to me because I don't pay attention to anything except for what I've got going on right in front of me.
Right.
And for me, it has proved to, like, I love my life. I love each and every day. I wake up and I get to go do what I love, which is to learn and to solve problems every single day. And I think that for me, like, that is the success. You know, like we keep talking about, you know, it's great to own these properties, and it's great to own this brokerage and the construction company and the lending company and leasing and acquisitions, and all these things are great, and the financial things that come with them and the assets that come with them. But I don't even think about the assets or the money or whatever it is. It's about going out and being a part of just this experience to learn these things and be a part of them and solve problems.
Yeah.
Is what truly, you know, is valuable to me.
Yeah, I love it, man. It's as simple, you know, I take from that is don't get distracted, focus on your goals, and go do it. I mean, the rest of when you're zoned in on what you want to accomplish, you're ultimately, I think, probably as happy as you want to be. I'm a big believer that when you have goals, you're happy. I think if someone doesn't have goals, and I could be wrong, I just don't think that they're happy. I really don't. I think you have to have goals in your life.
Yep. Cool. We can end it. I just wanted to.
No, I love it, man. That's great. We can do it. We can go all day. Good stuff. Hopefully people find this valuable. We're here constantly. We want to be a resource. We care deeply about what we do. And hopefully we can just add a little bit of value here and there and be consistent with it.
The idea is, and the passion behind this is, ultimately we want to help people find what we've found and what we've been talking about in their own way. And, you know, that's why we do this, because what we experience is so, this freedom that we experience, and we want other people to be able to experience it too.
Yeah, man. So thank you guys for tuning in. Like our channel, subscribe, hit us up. We're around. We're super easy to get a hold of. And just find the passion. He's right. We want you guys to get there. And we're open to advice too. So, let's all just grow together. Get after it.
All right, everybody. Have a good week.
Peace.